You don't have to have a law degree to know that self-driving cars have been hitting some legal speed bumps lately. Today, we're bringing in a legal expert not connected to the case, but ready to help us unpack the twists, the turns, and traffic signs in a recent landmark decision. The law firm of Ashton & Price is here to share their insights about self-driving cars. Let's welcome attorney Craig Ashton. Craig, always a pleasure having you on the show.
Well, thank you.
All right, so Craig, self-driving cars, they're supposed to be the future, but the legal questions get a little bit bumpy. Tell us about the recent headline-making verdict that has people wondering who's really at fault when tech kind of intervenes and takes the wheel.
Right. So we're kind of debating now where you have these things called full self-driving versus autopilot versus Waymo, which you're in the back of the car in San Francisco. They're all over the place. So essentially what it comes down to in California, there is no full self-driving private automobile. There's just not. So when you're driving the car, ultimately, you're responsible. So you can't say the car was driving for me. In the case that you're referencing was a $243 million verdict in Florida against Tesla, saying that Tesla was 33% responsible for driving the car and what happened.
Okay, so it gets tricky, like you said, and let's start in the driver's seat. Where does the law usually draw the line between human responsibility and the technology's responsibility?
Right, so in California, so think of it this way, if you had basically the old driver assist, or basically cruise control. You can't just have it in 70, hit somebody and say, hey, the car was driving me.
Right.
No way.
Right.
So the bottom line in California, the DMV makes the rules in regards to whether or not the car is full self-driving. The only one right now that has cracked that is Waymo, which is Alphabet, which is Google. And so when you're in the back of it, I rode in one in San Francisco last weekend. Bottom line is you're in the back. And the car shows up. You don't have to worry about, inconveniencing the driver because there isn't one. And bottom line, you're in the back. You can do whatever you want. If you have a margarita or a beer, it's a margarita rule that we talked about. You can drink a margarita in the back. If Waymo hits a pedestrian, it ain't your fault. But in California, the DMV makes those rules, and there's no car in California where if you're behind the wheel, you're definitely responsible. It's not on the manufacturer.
Okay, and then when a car manufacturer calls its system autopilot, but the manual says you have to stay fully alert, does that name create confusion that could work against the company in court?
So there's a line from Bye Bye Birdie, which is you gotta be sincere. So when Elon Musk says it's full self-driving, we solved the autopilot issue, the jury in Florida said, hey, that seems like you kept saying that, and it really wasn't true, but this person believed it and they reasonably relied upon it. So the jury in Florida, really interesting, for the first time ever, a person was killed as a result of somebody saying they had it in full self-driving. They held the driver 66% responsible, but Tesla 33% responsible for actually driving the car. And the jury said, hey, bottom line is they relied upon it. You said the car is being driven by you, and we're going to make you responsible for $200 million in punitive damages.
Wow. Okay, and then let's talk about, even features. Let's talk about the important feature of an eye-tracking camera. Is that the kind of detail that can make or break a lawsuit?
Well, that's what happened in this case. So basically, the expert from NHTSA, which is the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, retired, said, hey, Ford and GM have a safety apparatus where the car checks your eyes, and if you're not looking forward, it shuts off the full self-driving.
Right.
Tesla is touching the steering wheel and it stays for a few seconds. So they said, hey, that's defective. You could have designed the car better, and therefore you're going to bear responsibility. The jury did not like Elon Musk because he's been doing this Doge thing and pedo guy and 420 this and 420 that. They were only out for less than a day and nailed Tesla for $243 million. He's got 5 more cases coming. I think he's in trouble.
Oof. And then from a legal standpoint, do most drivers truly understand what driver assist means, or do the marketing messages that we see sometimes kind of oversell the tech's abilities?
Right. There's something called puffery, which is the ultimate driving machine, or Coca-Cola. This is it type thing. So the idea is that's puffery versus when it comes to safety, if they're saying full self-driving has been solved and it's coming from the guy that basically started the company, and then the issues pertaining to we can see aliens in the street and you don't have to worry about driving. Some people can believe that, and it's really up for a jury to determine whether or not that goes beyond exaggeration for financial gain to a statement of fact that ultimately has led to a problem. And in this particular case, in California, if you have full self-driving, it's not full self-driving, you're always going to be primarily responsible. Something really bad happens, then a lawsuit could be filed against you and also against Tesla, but it doesn't absolve you from responsibility.
Craig, looking ahead, do you think cases like this will push companies to rethink making certain claims?
Yeah, the reason that you have A-pillars and airbags and all those things is because of guys like us, personal injury attorneys that basically hold big corporations accountable, because they don't make safety features because they're altruistic or they love you. They do it because of the bottom line. We're going to see a lot more lawsuits if this continues to happen. If you want to go full self-driving, go to San Francisco. There's like 1,500 Waymos. It's really cool, and you don't have to tip the driver.
All right, there you go. Craig, keeping us in the loop with the future. Always a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, it's great to see you.
All right, you too. And when it comes to protecting your rights on the road, don't steer alone. Visit ashtonandprice.com or call 916-786-7787 for legal advice.